Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Well,
Got it. Yeah, well. Oh, things happened. How about you?
well, everyone in Wisconsin says hello. Everyone. They all stop me.
3.5 million of them. Thank goodness.
They all
Thank
stop
goodness.
me.
Good.
You were in Minnesota, right? So
Yeah,
we're
I
kind
was
of
in
the
Minneapolis.
same area.
Yeah, time zone. I was there because my nephew turned 13 and my sister is Jewish now. And so it was so cool. He did such a great job. There's something about the coming of age thing that is done in Judaism, even a quinceanera. I don't know. It's so much better than how I was told that I was a woman, which was Nancy's mom took me out to lunch at DeSalvo's and bought me a grasshopper. So I was both a child and an adult because I got an ice cream headache and drunk.
Oh, right. There's alcohol in a grasshopper.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
with
is.
the Catholics, it's confirmation, which
Right,
is
so
it's no fun. You have to read the Bible a lot, and then but you do get a new name, which is fun.
Do you have to because like at Noah's bat mitzvah, I mean, they have to read and sing in Hebrew and they have to practice because there's no vowels in the Torah. And then they have to write a speech about the part of the Torah that they wrote, they had to read.
Wow. See, it's a lot of more studying and stuff like that. Corey Kahaney, I went to her son's bar mitzvah. Yeah. It was neat. It was like this huge event. There were easily 50 people there. I mean, the grown-ups take it seriously.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that it's taken so seriously by the adults in your life that you have to take it seriously. You're like, this is an adult task. And so I think it gives a sense of adulthood as opposed to, like Tina Fey's book, there was this she took a questionnaire or something with a bunch of other women. When did you know you were a woman? And out of 300 women, they all said some version of the first time I was catcalled. The first time somebody said, "Hey, I want to stick my dick in you. Nice tits." That was this is better than that.
For sure. Yeah, it's nice. I envied it, but I also don't want to be Jewish, and I didn't even want to put my son through any of the Catholic shit. So I was like,
what is the
like
Catholic?
It, but I can't participate.
Well, because there's nothing like that in the Armenian church. The what's the Catholic stuff?
Confirmation. You've heard of confirmation, right?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is. You just show up and you take communion again, or
you do a bunch of catechism. You study the Bible. You got to get a catechism class and do a bunch of extra stuff. And then again, I was confirmed, and then I immediately stopped going to church because at that point it becomes your choice. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, Dad. But you take a confirmation name. You've heard the phrase of a confirmation name, right?
No. I remember a bunch of kids I went to grade school with having to go to confirmation classes every Wednesday.
Yeah, it was usually Wednesday. Yeah, it's always Wednesday.
You couldn't play with the Catholic kids on Wednesday in 6th and 7th grade. They were all like, I gotta go to catechism.
Yeah.
So
you take a confirmation name, and I forget the reason why, but it's like to prove you're extra Catholic.
But what's the ceremony like? Like, does everybody show up? Like, does your family all show up?
It's just like a mass. It's nothing. It happens at church. I had to meet with Monsignor Varney, and by the way, his church burnt down mysteriously. I'm sure he had nothing to do with it. It was called my church when I was growing up was called Most Precious Blood. That it wasn't like St. Mary's, which is kind of upbeat and happy. It's like Most Precious Blood, and then it died in an arson fire.
Wow, I hope they were insured.
I'm sure they were.
Yes.
But so it's a smaller thing, and I hated it. It didn't. It always feels like bar mitzvahs feel more loving and more family oriented, and this felt just like this. I had to go listen to this old man just kind of get mad at me and tell me things and be like grumpy, and because he didn't like kids, and I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't sound anything like what this was. There was a
Yeah.
team. He had to sing. He had to go to a lot of classes. He had to figure some stuff out. And then he had to write a 10-minute speech about community.
Oh, neat.
So it was really cool. And then there was parties. Then there was things. The craziest thing, and this literally is the most extraordinary story. Unlikely, this story. Other times I've gotten into insane situations, and the madness I'm speaking of is not a mental madness, though I did go slightly crazy about it. And I thought about never telling anyone about what happened. Here's what happened Saturday night, last night, because now it's Sunday. Andy and I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy after the party. And so at 11:37, 11:27, I went to the bathroom afterwards, after the movie. I sit down, do my business. I stand up, I turn around to flush the toilet. The rental car keys fall into the toilet, and it's an automatic toilet.
Oh,
the keys are gone. They go down. I've never even heard of such a thing. I was, in retrospect, I think the reason I was so angry and so upset about it was that it sounds like the plot of Hangover 3. It sounds like something that Chat B whatever T would write. Like it's
Chat GPT.
GPT. Yeah. It feels like such a hacky, horrible thing.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like the hackiest premise in the whole wide world. I'll budget rent a car. I'm so shocked, by the way, that I'm just staring. And I'm like, no way.
It's so late at night and you're leaving. Like, it's awful to have it happen that late at night at a movie theater. I mean,
you're not even responding in a way that I'm going to need you to respond. I need this. It was so unlikely. It was amazingly, and I felt so bad. I was like, Andy, just go to the hotel. I'll deal with it. And he was like, a very D&D kind of thing to it, where he just said, you never split the party. I learned that when I was 13. You don't split the party. And so at 11:30, I called budget. At 1:30, I called. At 1 o'clock, I called.
In the morning.
Yeah. They could not find someone to come out. So at 1 o'clock, I called AAA. And AAA came. They opened the car in about 30 seconds. And I got to pull out my nephew's gift and my sweater. And then we took a lift away from that rental car. And I have no idea how much this is going to cost. Because when I told them that we were going away, I said, I called budget when I got to the hotel. And I was like, yeah, the car's there. It's in a parking lot right in the movie theater in a mall.
Oh, my God.
And they said, well, if anything happens to it, you're responsible. And I said, I understand that. But I waited 2 hours. And you guys still, and at 4 o'clock, they still hadn't found someone to tow it. And so this morning I called them and they said that they had towed it and they had impounded it, but not at the place where it needed to be impounded. So I might get charged an extra day.
Fuck. Wait,
and
who
I
towed it? The city or budget?
Budget finally found someone to tow it, but not to the place where budget needs it to be towed, because that place is closed because it's a Sunday.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jackie.
Yeah. So this was dumb.
And your insurance, have you called your insurance to see if by some chance?
No. What I want to do is I want to find out what budget tells me tomorrow morning, at Monday morning. Then I will find out. And I supposedly am opening for Maria at Largo tomorrow night, but it's listed as an ACLU benefit with Judd Apatow. But maybe I'm opening not for Maria, but I'm working with Maria and Judd Apatow for the ACLU. How do they know that I believe in the ACLU? How do they know?
Yes. Well, Jackie, that sucks. I'm very sorry. That's very frustrating.
I needed you to laugh harder. It was amazing.
Well,
It was,
Jackie, I always feel like you're not satisfied with my response, and it stresses me out.
no, I'm it literally, I was just Andy was like, stuff happens. And I'm like, no, this is the
Ugh.
dumbest thing that I've ever done in my life. And he's like, you didn't do it on purpose.
Oh my
This
God.
wasn't an
No.
intelligence thing at all. This is the most unlikely
Wait,
event. You got something?
I think I might have you beat.
Oh, that's why. That's what you got. You've been waiting to tell this story. Let's hear it.
No. So
Topic.
on Friday, driving to the club, going to the Laughing Tap. I'll talk about the whole week, but let's just, we both had car things this week. Okay. Driving to the Laughing Tap, and there's no parking. And I'm already thinking, why did I keep this car? Whatever. So there's no parking. So there's a space opens up in front of the club. It's a loading thing only. And I see another car coming the opposite way. So I do a quick U-turn, and I'm frantically trying to park in this space. And I hear a crunch. And two people, audience members that are walking into the club, turn around and look at me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Right? And so, yes, I have just dinged the side of a car on its bumper, okay, as I was pulling in, right? It's nothing, it turned out not to be bad, but it sounded bad. And people turned around to look. And I was like, oh my God, the audience saw this, right? So I pull in, I bring my stuff inside, and I say, I fucking just hit a car, and I hope it's not anyone in the audience's car. And
I hope it's my dad.
I forget who at the club told me. Oh, it wasn't. It's the club owner's car.
Greg?
Yeah.
All right.
So I go, so I'm like, oh my fucking God. Greg's the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
But then
he
we
doesn't
both
want
go
his
out.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you can just rub it out and you don't see anything. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, for about a minute and a half, I was like, I'm not going to tell my insurance company. I'll just pay this out of pocket. And this whole weekend's fucked because it felt like it was worse than it was. So that's my car story for the week.
Right. That doesn't actually beat it, just because it was free in the end. So I'm hoping that mine will be less than $600. They said it'll probably be about $550.
No, you're right. I mean, you are right.
But I will say this.
Free.
Right. What I do like is that you had talked about how great the water pressure was at the place you stayed for the Oshkash gig. Yeah. And all I could think was, I think my water pressure story beats your water pressure story. Because just think about the water pressure in that toilet at that movie theater.
Incredible.
Incredible water pressure.
Well, there's 1,000 lakes in Minnesota, so why are they going to try to save water, right? They're going to snatch anything that's in that toilet. So it was a really fun weekend.
Oh,
right?
good.
I had shows on Friday and Saturday at the Laughing Tap, and they were really fun shows. And so I'm trying to take all the crowd or the stuff in between jokes where I just messing around the crowd or reacting to their noises, and make it into I had to it cut down to 5 minutes from the Late Show, and just throw that up on YouTube. Very time consuming. And then on Thursday, so Thursday night I was at Oshkash at the Time Community Center, and it was really fun.
Good.
Oshkash is adorable.
By gosh, it is.
It's a place where you're like, oh, I'd love to hang out here for a couple days. And then Lyle, as he was taking me back to the Airbnb one night, or on Thursday night, we drove by the church, and the church has these illuminated signs. And one of them was Crystal Meth Anonymous. They had Narcotics Anonymous, and then a subset of Crystal. I'm like, wow, it must be really different to be crystal meth as opposed to generic narcotics, or
And-
the narcotics people don't want the meth people. Maybe they're scary. I don't know.
And it was in a lit up sign. This church has crystal meth anonymous meetings. Okay. All right. That really doesn't feel anonymous. That feels
right.
it might get people in though. So maybe that's what they're hoping for. Yeah. They're like,
and,
I could go do crystal meth, or I could go see with these people how they're not how did they not get to do crystal meth, and I could save $1.50 or however much crystal meth costs.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. I'm sure our Patreons will tell us the known crystal meth users. So I flew in on Wednesday and I drove up to Oshkash, and I got in around 9 o'clock. It's a B&B, bed and breakfast. I'm so used to saying Airbnb that it wasn't an Airbnb. It's like an old house from the 1800s. It's restored, beautiful. Like everything that's wood is gleaming and everything's old and all that stuff. But I walked in, I had to punch a code to get in, and there's like no one in the house. It's fucking empty. It's pitch black. Maybe there's one light way in the kitchen, and there's a piano, and then there's a piece of furniture behind the piano that looks like a leg. And I was like, ah!
Remember the carousels? Yeah, it's terrifying.
Worse than the carousels. Because I was alone.
Because it was empty. Yeah.
Empty.
Yeah. Okay. Is there more, or because tell me when I could? Okay.
Then I texted the person who owns it, and I'm like, is there anyone here? What's happening? And am I in the right house? Is a homeowner going to come out and shoot me because I wandered into the wrong house by accident? Because Wisconsin is a stand your ground state. And
Is it?
Yes. That's what I was Googling while I was in the house.
Oh my God.
I'm like, how much danger am I in right now?
A fair amount.
So she texted me because I was about to get a hotel. So she texted me when I went back to the car. She texted me. She goes, I'm in the basement. I'm like, this is not even sounding much better. But she did emerge from the basement, and she was like maybe 30 years old at best. So I'm just like, you'll hear me if I scream, right? And then I have these little wedges that like you put it under a hotel door, and you if someone tries to open it, it sounds a huge alarm. So I stuck my wedge in, and then I was fine. They had an incredible bathtub. Incredible.
Yeah, I saw the picture on your Instagram.
Gigantic bath salts. It was lovely. So there. Okay, so go ahead. What did you have to add?
Mary Mack does a lot of small towns in Wisconsin, and she gets brought in by the city council or the Chamber of Commerce. There's usually like a tiny theater that they built during the WPA, and she booked us to do a show there, probably in one of these tiny towns in Wisconsin about 10 years ago in December or February. I mean, it was full on winter, and we show up, and she's like, we're to go to this house, this is where we're staying. And we walk in, and it's 57 degrees inside this house.
Oh my God.
There's no one in this house. We go and we find beds and we find bedrooms, and I don't want any part of it. I genuinely need to go to a Hampton Inn. I would like a home. I know. I would like a home 2 suites. I would like a double tree. I would like a garden.
I want to be checked in. Take my credit card for incidentals, please.
Right. I'm not even that psyched about the digital key that I had to do in Minneapolis at the I think I was at an Embassy Suites Hilton property. They were out of cards. And they said you have to do the digital one because
on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Through the app, and it's fine, it works. But there were 2 of us, and Andy would have liked his own key, I'm sure. And
but otherwise that was really fun, and the shows were cool. And I told my new pitch to the audience, as I always, every audience, like, we have a relationship by the end of the show, right? As you do, right? And usually I've let them know that they've disappointed me. So I've been saying, like, I have a podcast with Jackie Cation, and every Monday we talk about the week's previous audiences, and then that usually gets a nice little laugh because I'll have had ups and downs with every audience.
I don't believe you. I think just ups. So
All up.
all ups. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then,
yep.
oh, good.
Go ahead.
So I drove from Oshkash to Milwaukee, and I stopped in Belgium, Wisconsin.
So you could visit your dead. Yes.
Yes, I went to the Luxembourg American Cultural Society, which is the place that helped me get my citizenship. And
Yep.
I was the only visitor there at the time. And I mean, it's like they had like statues of little Luxembourgers. They literally look like pygmies that have entered America. It was
a caricature of tiny statues. Is that what it was?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
They're kind of half life size. I'm like, surely these people weren't that short. But
it's like the Disneyland Force perspective. I'm so sorry.
But,
Go ahead.
yeah. So Luxembourg is very like they just kind of got their shit together after World War II, you know. So they haven't been an official country for a long time. So it seems like they're very defensive, and they actually had one placard on the wall that just said, "What is Luxembourg?" And they tried to answer it. It's like, it's a country. We got it. But it was interesting. You know, I learned a little bit, and you know, got to kind of visualize what it was like for those guys when they came over. And then I went over to the church in Lake Church, and was looking for their graves, and my ancestors were front and center. Like they may have been among the first families buried there.
Okay.
So they were like right up front, and so that was pretty cool.
And it's nice when you get good seating in the graveyard.
Didn't die
Yes.
fast enough.
Well, the Kilmartins in Albany were way the fuck up a hill, okay? But these guys were right up front. And I'm not going to say their name because, you know, that's my mom's maiden name. Of course, that's a security answer, so I can't let you people know. You'll find out my social security.
Huddleston.
Yes.
My PIN number spells joke. It did actually for a while. And then I said that out loud on stage, and I had to change it.
Immediately.
Yeah, it wasn't my smartest, my bravest moment. Yeah, I didn't get to do any stand-up this weekend. Very sad. I thought about it. I did, of course. Like Saturday day, I was gonna get Andy to, you know, walk around Lake Harriet with me in Minneapolis because I like Lake Harriet a lot. It's a good walk and it's nice. Or go to the Walker or do something, you know. And like Friday night we got there and we went out to dinner, and it must have been a date night because Andy had a Moscow Mule. And he had the prime rib. But we went to a place that Lewis Lee, who owns Acme, suggested. That I lived in Minneapolis for most of the 90s, and I'd never even heard. It's in Northeast. So in the 90s, Northeast wasn't, but it's an old steak place. And so it was delicious and it was nice. I went and I hung out with Lewis a little bit on Saturday afternoon. And we talked about your upcoming week.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and how psyched he is about comics who send him clips. And I said, well, Kilmartin's grinding it out. She's got probably a folder of clips that you guys could use.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, good, because that's been helping a lot of people fill the room. And I was like, all right, great. And and I was telling him, you know, I'm not there till September. And I tried to book some other stuff. I got a little bit of work. I just realized that I booked a red eye. So I'm doing an immigration benefit June 1st in San Francisco. So I'm flying from LAX to San Francisco June 1st. And I get there at 3 p.m. So the show starts at 7. I don't have a hotel room because I'm flying out at 12:30 a.m.
to
Milwaukee. and I
Oh,
get to
okay.
Milwaukee because I'm doing the Laughing Tap, the second and
Oh, okay.
third. And then
Oh,
I'm gonna
you'll feel like shit. Oh my God, you're gonna feel awful.
yeah, this might not have been this might not be great. I might have to rethink what I've done here. But we'll see. I don't know. So I might have to just stay overnight and sort of
Yeah,
push the envelope to Friday shows. Because
yeah.
Friday shows, I don't need to get there at 8:30 in the morning.
No, you don't. And you don't want to check into the Hyatt at 8:30 in the morning. I don't know.
Well,
It seems like it'll be trouble.
yeah, it's not restful. It's not
No, it's
restful.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful.
So
And we have to stop treating ourselves like we're 22-year-old MCs that can fucking do it all. You know,
I know it. I know it.
our
It's
shows are harder than those shows were. You know, like you could drive 12 hours if you're only doing 20 minutes. Sure.
right.
But
Sure.
if you're doing 2 60-minute shows, you have to treat yourself differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think I'm definitely gonna change. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change this June travel and hotel situation. And
Jackie,
yep.
I did have a meal at George Webb's. I don't know.
Jorge Weebs. You went to Jorge Weebs?
I did.
Called locally.
Yeah, I don't even step into that mess, that puddle you just created of cultural improprieties.
I didn't
But,
use the word pygmy. How about that? How about we all got issues? Huh? Okay.
I walked in and I'm like, I just want a salad. And
oh no. You went to George Webb's for a salad?
it was across the street, it was open. I'm like, they gotta have something. The closest I got to salad was chili because it had beans in it. And it tasted awful, but I was also like satiated at the end of it.
Right, it's a salt lick. And we are nothing if not internally dear. So yeah, I will say that there was George Webb's. There was a place when I was a little kid in South Milwaukee called Lloyd's Lunch. And Lloyd's Lunch was like a knockoff version of George Webb's. And it was.
Wait, you can't knock off George Webb's. It has been knocked off. It's on the ground.
It exists. Yeah, it exists already. The bar it's hard to lower that bar. That bar is already pretty low. Yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea. So all I know is so you stayed at the Hyatt? I think I'm staying with my brother.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And
yeah, I walked around downtown. It's so pretty. I mean, Milwaukee doesn't have a reputation of being beautiful, but actually you have a Lake Michigan, and then right next to it is a river. You have a lake and a river, like almost side by side.
Who says Milwaukee's beautiful?
Oh, I've been saying it for 50 years that it's a dump. So, but people have been agreeing with me. I
think Milwaukee is it's gorgeous in the summer, especially the lakefront and all that stuff. And then you went to the Pfister.
Yeah, I was looking for breakfast at 10 a.m. I got a nice.
You know the history. The name is German, obviously Pfister.
Yes,
Pfister. But whenever you tell anybody you're staying at the Pfister, you're just hanging out with male comics who are like fisting, and you're like, no, PF. It's a German. Anyway, it's a very nice Victorian hotel that has an amazing art collection. Okay.
No, but I felt like I just walked into a childhood of dick jokes from Vacation Household when I walked into the Pfister Hotel. I'm like, this is part of Jackie's lore.
No, we never even got it. Like, I'll you know what? I'm happy to tell you that there was absolutely no discussion of fisting when I was a child. I'm happy to tell you that never came up, and I didn't know what it was when I was 19. The first bartender at the first comedy club I went up to told me a dick joke and I didn't get it. So I lost my virginity to a comic. So there's all kinds of problems. I don't recommend.
Is he still in the business?
None of your business.
Ah! I put names in there. I put comic names in there.
I've told you this.
I forgot.
It's
Wait,
we're still friends.
what do you mean? Okay. Did you write it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, we went out
Okay.
for like a year and a half.
Okay.
When I do a joke about how I never had a boyfriend, he was my first boyfriend, and I was a terrible girlfriend. I cannot express to you how drunk and just dangerous I was as a 19-year-old comic.
Sure.
There were free booze, and then the Kinnisons, there was free cocaine. It was
Oh my
it was
God.
the whole thing was a debacle. But and then it ended, and they all moved to Chicago and I moved to Minneapolis. So that's a win. Anyway, let's take a
yeah.
break.
Okay.
And let's talk about comic of the week. I did the ripped bodice this week, and one of the hosts, Jenny Chalikian, has never been a comic of the week, and I was like, well,
I thought she.
That
I
all
thought
three
she
of us
had
thought
been.
she had been.
I was shocked.
Jenny
shocked.
Chalikian, super smart, funny, just really, just warm. You know,
Yeah.
like the stuff is
One of my dearest
sharp.
friends in comedy.
Right, super sharp, but also there's a warmth to her stand-up that is just outstanding. And so her handle on Instagram is Romcom Show, because she is one of the hosts of the romantic books, the romance novel,
The Ripped Bodice.
the Ripped Bodice
Ripped
comedy
Bodice.
show. So
We're
it's
both
but her name
exhausted.
is Jenny Chalikian. So
Yeah,
Brilliant
she's very
comedian.
funny, and they put on a really fun show in Culver City once a month, right, at the
Right.
Riff Bodice. So if you are an audience member, you should check out the show at the Riff Bodice.
Oh my
There's
God,
a
and
really good.
good chance she will have an album out on Radland Records in the next 18 months.
come
Heck
on,
yeah.
there you go. Speaking of albums, I may rename all of my albums the album formerly known as
Yeah.
Circus People, Bread, Horcrux,
Oh my
colon
God, Jackie.
Hero,
Um,
Staycation.
Fucking believable. I can't. And you have to do this all yourself, or you have to.
No,
pay
I would.
somebody.
I would have to. Well, I would go with the set that I taped, is Spinning on Sirius
Right.
that I did with Blonde Medicine,
Yeah.
and it's an exclusive with Sirius, and it's just a set. It's
Yeah.
19 tracks, a
Yeah.
variety of different jokes from. I did some old jokes, some that I could remember,
Right. Yeah.
and it's called Messy or something. I don't know what I named. I think
You don't
I
know
forget
the
what
name of your new album.
it's barely my new album. It's an album. And so, but I, Dominic liked it. He said that the set
Mhm.
was very good. I let him cut
Mhm.
it up because I couldn't face it.
No, it's
And,
none of my. You think it's none of my business. You do your job.
But
None of my
I've
business.
started getting money.
Yeah.
And he's so this month it was the lowest that it was. I think this is the second or third month I'm getting paid for that album. And it's supposed to the next couple of months will be better, I'm told. So
I'm looking into a similar arrangement with old material.
yeah, just doing a set. Well, and Kyle has he sent me
A new
he
cut.
sent me a new cut for my 11-minute new special called Looking Back.
Oh, neat.
And yes, but I have yet to watch it because I've been losing keys down toilets.
And I didn't even send it to other people this time.
You didn't send it to other people. I kept running into different comics who were like,
It's-
"Oh, I saw that."
But it's
clip."
only because I showed like the 5 people closest to you in your life. Like it's Carmen, like it's people who know you.
right. And I was like, "Well, I couldn't get it to play," and Carmen was like, "Stop talking." And I was
a
like,
lot
"Fair-
of people.
fair enough." And but yeah, so I may do it. I just I'm I'm just gonna get all the masters back, figure it out going
Yeah.
forward. And Kathleen Madigan, they're playing her stuff again. Serious. She got to
Yeah.
sign an extra piece of paper that I guess Sirius doesn't want all of us to get to sign. I wish we could all sign it.
I
But this
don't
is
understand what the problem is. I just don't.
well, from what I was told, this guy, you'll be familiar with this this
I'm about to
name.
be mad.
Oh yeah. This guy told me his theory, and I mentioned it to Dominic and I mentioned it to Ryan, and they both said that was a pretty common theory, is that the reason Sirius doesn't care is that the audience, they've got no complaints.
Yeah.
There's
just being
still
fed
10,000 other albums. They're being fed
Yeah.
different other comedy.
So there's
don't
no
care.
rush. They don't have to rush. They don't feel like, oh, we
Mhm.
got to get Laurie Kilmartin back on. They don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. That's the speculation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's got some veracity to it. Sounds like it might be something.
Why would they be upset that some female comics aren't available to spin? Since they play us less anyway.
Yeah.
It's got to be a
I don't-
relief.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is yeah, I would like more money. So, but I've been talking to different people, and I think it's all going to work out for me. I'll tell you in a couple of weeks if it does.
Okay.
I've been told
Uh,
things will work. I'm going to wait until it's in my hot little hand.
Yes, I've been told that when my special comes out, Comedy Dynamics is also releasing it as an album, and it won't have the taint of whatever all my other 3 albums now have. It'll be like new.
Yes.
So it'll be treated
It'll
normally.
be right. They'll be able to play it. Yeah.
God.
And they're supposedly in pretty good with Jack Vaughn and Sirius. So
I hope so. Yeah.
Laurie,
that'd be great.
I think Maria's new special is also on Comedy Dynamics. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, that would be awesome. Let's see. I'm like getting sick to my stomach when I'm traveling, just seeing all the single-use plastic, and I cannot fucking get away from it. Like,
Right.
if you want anything at the airport, and hardly any of them recycle, it's just like, oh, this is happening a million times a day at 1,000 airports all over the world. And where's it all
Right.
going? Just in the
Mhm.
fucking ocean. Made me sad.
Yeah. It's that is hard. I am I'm trying to figure out, because what I'm trying to figure out how to talk about, I'd like to take back the night a little bit here from the fascists, because
Mhm.
they keep talking about, how the right wing or the fascists or the Nazis or whatever you want to call them, they can't seem to keep 2 thoughts in their head at the same time, which is that we all believe in the American dream, but there's work to be done. Right? They can't keep those two. They can't say, well, if it's not perfect, then you don't believe in it. And you're like, no, we know it's not perfect. We're still trying to make it work better. And we see these problems with it. And so I would like to write a bit about that. And it seems like a lifetime's project.
I know. I haven't finished listening to Lewis Black's special or watching it. It's on YouTube. I just watched a little bit, but he's like 74,
Okay.
and there's not a lot of comics that are older than us that are still doing hours. You know what I mean? So it's fun to watch. I mean, I'd say we're the same age as some people, like, Bill Burr, Chappelle, or those guys. Like, we're in that range, but he's like definitely a generation older.
Right.
Judy's only 3 years older than us, so I
Okay.
consider,
Yeah.
you know,
Comparable.
but
Yeah.
it's nice to see someone our same age doing stuff, but then to see someone, you know, like 15 years older is also interesting because you don't, it's like, well, who is tackling being in their 70s comedically right now? You know, I'm sure others besides Lewis are, but you know, it was good. He talked about COVID, and it wasn't like this, you know, like people are talking about COVID now, and it's driving me nuts because it's like the setups are so incomplete, the whatever. Well, lockdown, you know, the pandemic's over. It's like, no, it's not. You know, it's all that stuff, and he kind of doesn't talk about it that way. He talks about the lockdown specifically and what it was like, and how he
Mhm.
went crazy, and how he was alone in his room and he couldn't leave, and he never did a single Zoom show, so he was just not performing at all for the first time in his life, and
Wow.
it's really good. I haven't finished it, but I really liked it, you know.
I'm so glad you're watching it for the both of us. I'm gonna get credit for that.
You're such an asshole.
I don't need to see it. I mean, I'm happy, but I literally, what am I watching? Mostly Relaxing Village Azerbaijan, which is a YouTube channel that my mom-in-law cannot stop watching. Like 270 episodes, anywhere between 11 minutes to an hour and a half. It's just somebody's grandmother making food and her son building like fires out in their lawn. And then
Gosh.
the way it's shot, whenever they need to let time elapse or something, it's sort of like that Rodriguez movie. They cut to the chickens or the kittens or the dogs or the kids, and then they come back and she's, you know, the bread's risen, and then she can make whatever, and they're, you know, up in the, you know, and but it's it's literally called Rising. Did you ever see Soylent Green?
No.
So Soylent Green, there's a great scene in it that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the soy product that they were making was made out of humans. I think we all know the secret of Soylent Green. It's just a cop movie with Charlton Heston that that Kyle seems to
I
own.
produced my boxed DVD copy of Soylent Green.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
For the Insta feed.
Exactly. So those of you on YouTube, live it up. Because who played his dad? Do you remember?
It's famous
The
old
famous guy. Famous old guy. Well, there's a scene where he's being euthanized, and they show
Laurence Olivier?
no,
Okay.
it isn't Laurence Olivier to my knowledge.
Marathon Man.
Lewis Black?
Yes, that's who it
It's
was.
Lewis
It's
Black. It was played by Lewis Black, but whatever it is, he's being euthanized, and they show essentially Relaxing Village, Azerbaijan,
Mhm.
as they're killed in 1974. It doesn't exist yet, but that's what when I watch Relaxing Village, Azerbaijan, and I'm gonna say it again, all I can think is, yeah, I think I want to be killed to this. It's super soothing. It's very, very soothing. Speaking of being killed, I went and marched, and did we talk when I've done one strike day?
You did Warner Brothers, right?
Yes,
And how long were you out for?
2 hours, two and a
Yeah.
half hours, something like that.
Sore?
I couldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Crazy.
20,000 steps or something.
Just walking and you're sore. Yeah.
Just
it's
back and
ridiculous.
forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then
Yeah.
it was me and Laura House and Chris McGuire, and then Deidre. What was Deidre's last name? She used to do stand up. She's an animation writer.
Sullivan? No. Okay.
No. And yeah, but it was actually it felt good to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
picket
probably
this
do it
week.
again. Yeah, probably
And
go again.
my kid will be picketing this summer with me. He can bring
Okay.
that teen energy to those afternoon slumps. It's hard in the afternoon. I think this week will be even harder because it's so hot in the valley. It's
Yeah,
hot, man.
we did the afternoon. It was lightly attended in the morning. It was super busy during the afternoon.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe the AM's the way to fulfill.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there in the afternoon on Friday, I think it seemed to get light around 3:30 or 4, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you just always want to have enough people there, you know. especially in traffic. You just want to, have a good show, or shut down a production. They seem to be doing a lot more of that in New York, because New York will go to all these little different places to try to shoot a movie, and they can go there and send a team and shut it down. Versus here, a lot of stuff you can do inside the studio. So the studio, someone was saying you could live there for 3 months and not have to have a single track cut. So it's more of a show at the studio.
Are you also in SAG? You're in SAG as well,
Yes,
right?
I am.
Yeah.
Are you too? Did you go to?
Well, I haven't. Supposedly, I was going to be sent some sort of postcard, but should I just
You can
go
just go online? Go online. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go online.
Just do it. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Postcard could be stolen by an anti-union mail carrier. You never know what's happening out there in those streets, Jackie.
Yeah, the streets. Hey, let's take another break.
Okay.
All right.
Did I tell you my blouse in my special is like wrinkled? Like I needed someone to steam it right before I walked out, and they remember I told you everyone left right when they did touch-ups on me on like 9 o'clock, and everyone was like, all right, we're out of here, because they'd done 3 specials already, and they didn't they didn't want to hang out. But someone needed to be there to steam my shirt, my blouse, before I went out, because it's really wrinkled. It's like,
so it never got dealt with.
Nope.
Oh my God.
No one did it. I mean, they did it early, but it's silk, so it got wrinkled very quickly. And so I just needed someone 2 minutes before I was going out to give me a look over. I'm going over jokes in my head. I'm not looking at my fucking blouse.
Right.
And just, stick the steamer under my shirt and steam it,
Right. Bummer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Do you have any sets this week?
I do. I'm in town this week.
Me too.
Hold on. Let me walk to my fridge.
I'm doing Hot Tub and then a set in Atwater on the Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday. I don't think I have anything yet. Yeah, on Sunday.
I'm at the West Side on Saturday. I'm at the
nice.
Laugh Factory in Long Beach on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm doing the Barclay on Wednesday with Vance Sanders's room in Pasadena. Are you on that show with me?
I'm not. I'm doing Hot Tub that night.
Oh, okay.
So because they had to reschedule because of rain.
Wasn't Hot Tub a Monday night show?
It was, and it was at the Virgil, and now it's at Permanent Records on Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. And then I'm gonna go to New York, and then I'm guys, my next big road gig I'm plugging is Portland. June 23rd and 24th at the Siren. I hope everyone can come out. Let's have a
my God. I'm there the same weekend opening for Maria.
What? Jackie?
Yep.
All right. People can, what night? 2 nights?
3. So go to yours. Yeah. It's
why are we competing against each other on my fucking one road weekend in June?
I wonder if me and Andy can land a show that weekend too. Really fully split this crowd.
Here's what we can do is on Thursday night, I can make an announcement and tell people to go see you at the Siren on Friday and Saturday.
Oh my God, amazing.
Because don't you think?
Yes. And then on your Friday shows, tell them, why are you here? You should be at the Siren.
Well, because you're doing Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'll tell them on Friday to go to see your shows on Saturday, and vice versa.
I think
you just hit them up extra on
basement
Thursday.
Room I can book.
It's
I bet.
Yeah. So I'll talk up, but that'll be fun because then we can have lunch. I love having lunch. It turns out.
Maybe I have to see where my accommodations are. Where are you? Well, you can tell me later where you're staying. I had to get. There's no hotel.
Right.
And I was gonna stay with my sister. That was fine with me. But they're for very good reasons, very COVID averse. And even though I do a lot to not get COVID, I would hate to be on stage and bring it home into the house because of some situations there. So I might not be
Interesting.
staying there. I'm not really sure. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah, and then I'm going with her to Seattle after that. So
Well, let me see if I can hook up a gig in Seattle. I'll just
yeah,
track you
sure.
guys.
Just track that, and then the rest of June, like my early June is San Francisco, Milwaukee, and then Chicago, and then I'm doing Portland and Seattle. And then my
Oh.
July is, I think, pretty non-existent, but my June is actually really big. And I emailed months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, the Lowell, Arkansas, Northeast Arkansas is the bluest part of Arkansas.
Mhm.
So, but there's a comedy club there in Lowell.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I remember.
yeah, and so that guy finally responded to me on Saturday because this guy was booking it and he doesn't you know what he
What?
doesn't. Yeah, he was
He-
booking it for like
Why
a
is-
couple of years and then he isn't again.
Why?
Right.
What? Why? He's a comedian.
Sort of.
Ah!
He's
Jackie, I'm being pushed out of show business, apparently. No one's booking. It's true.
well, we just booked the Creek in the Cave.
Yeah, in November.
Is that November?
Yeah. Guess
Oh,
what? I
weird.
have fucking bills to pay before then.
No, yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, it'd be great.
Why do I have
I
a
still
special
haven't
coming
been-
out
I
and
still
I hardly
haven't-
have any work?
I still haven't been paid for Vegas.
What?
It's
That's
been
nuts.
over 2 weeks. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, you
And
gotta.
I sent the routing number and she said it didn't work. And I was like, well, then send me a check. And I was like, do you have the right routing number? And she was like, that's it. It's not working. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I should have gotten a check after the last show.
Yeah.
There should just be someone to hand checks to people.
Right.
It's
yeah,
stand-up
I agree.
comedy. I mean, you do it in New York, it shouldn't be a problem in Vegas.
Yeah.
I wish, here's what I'm going to put out a wish list. I would like to work, and I seem to be on some sort of, I guess, 4-year rotation for Wise Guys in Salt Lake or Vegas or anywhere, because I like that.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
those people.
Yeah.
And Biff, or whatever his name is, the guy that owns that thing, he just
Yeah.
he says he's gonna book me, but then he doesn't. And it's sad.
I got that like 2 years ago that they were gonna book me and then they didn't. And then I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Jackie, we are women in a business that doesn't like women. I don't know what to tell you.
well,
It sucks.
well, we're just gonna have to keep plugging, it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have any interest in doing anything else.
I know.
So this is where I'm at.
Maybe I'll
and-
book that comedy club in Arkansas. I guess that's what comics are doing now.
Right? Maybe you'll start booking
he-
a club.
Did he move to Arkansas? He didn't.
I have
he didn't
no
live there.
idea. I thought he lived in New York.
That is, yeah, me too. That is so weird.
It was weird,
Whatever.
and it was a lot of work. I heard that he was kind of a douche to this person.
I've heard that as well. But wait, to
Well,
who?
just I mean, shocking knowing that guy's a douche, but
Oh
oh
that
wait,
sucks.
is that right? No, that's not right. That's the older version of this person. I'm a
Oh
dick.
man!
Oh, that's
holy
not-
shit.
Wow, Jackie, you are a
Again, I
Meow.
did not call the people of Luxembourg short. So how about we get off my
Jackie,
areola? How
I
about
have
that?
to say, I'm rooting for the toilet seat or the toilet that snatched your keys out of your pockets. Oh
You
my
said
god!
snatched, and I have this to say: tain't none of your concern.
you can't turn the genius whatever off. Well, I guess I
Did
just
you-
didn't when I rephrased that, but
What's his name on Twitter? Who always puts all the words together? The data guy.
oh,
And-
Tony Cork.
Yeah, Tony Cook or Tony Cork.
Cork.
Okay. He did he tried to do my act in that
Yeah.
chat thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
ChatGPT.
and it made me sound insufferable. So I was like, I write punchlines. So
Also, I guess ChatGPT just thinks I like skeleton. Like it was a lot of knock skeleton jokes for me. Like what?
death. It went with
What the
death, I
fuck?
think. I think it went to
Yeah.
it went to a dark
Straight to
place.
death. Yeah.
Yeah. So how are we doing here, Clark?
We're
Kyle?
just about there.
We're real close.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I didn't sell much merch last weekend. I sold more at Oshkash than I did all weekend at Milwaukee. I don't know. Maybe that shirt isn't a big seller. I'm not really sure. I want to sell them. I may figure out something else to do. You know,
I've asked like 4 different artists to do a shirt for me, and one person got me back some thumbnails this week, and it's been a month, and a couple other people are like, oh yeah, I should definitely get to that. And I was like, I'm willing to pay you, please. And obviously, and and then I'm trying to also get that NPR set, or at least a minute and a half of it, animated. And
neat.
yeah, and I can't seem to get anybody to, and I'm willing to pay for that too. So
Gosh, you know, my son in a couple years would be maybe.
Yeah, is he going to get a
guy.
summer job? Isn't he 16?
He is, yeah. I don't know. He's going to apply to a place. He has it's a walking distance.
He should make some income for the family. You're not making a lot of money. He should add some value.
Oh boy, it's the old Cation family work ethic coming over here. See, my feeling is like, how many more summers does he have before he actually literally has to start worrying about this stuff? Like, you get 2 more summers, you know, you get the summer after your sophomore, the summer after your junior, and then it's like time.
You're thinking of a different generation, because he's going to live at home till he's 30. So it'll be fine. He'll have plenty of time off. You're not cutting into his sitting around time if he learns how to work for a living. He can get a job.
Guessing you are the most hated aunt at the vacation.
I am beloved.
Reunions.
I am beloved. And I got to meet both of my grandnephews. There were plenty of there such a great picture of a bunch of, you know, some of my nieces and nephews weren't there, and
yeah,
I have another 4 great nephews that weren't there, but 2 of my 2 newest great nephews were there, and my great niece was there, who, by the way, is unmoved by me. She is unmoved by me, but my niece likes me. So, how many 13-year-olds do? Well, actually, I think Layla's 15 or 16. Yeah, Layla's unmoved by me, but we barely know each other, so I don't blame her. So.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Kyle, are we almost done?
We are super good to go.
Let's get out of here.